Now, Rishi Sunak has been accused of making an insensitive jibe about Keir Starmer's position on transgender people during Prime Minister's questions today, while murdered teen Brianna Ghey's mother watched on.
Mr Speaker, this week the unwavering bravery of Brianna Ghey's mother, Esther, has touched us all. As a father, I can't even imagine the pain that she's going through, and I'm glad that she's with us in the gallery here today.
But it's a bit rich, Mr Speaker, to hear about promises from someone who's broken every single promise he was elected on. I mean, I think I counted almost 30 in the last year. Pensions, planning, peerages, public sector pay, tuition fees, childcare, second referendums, defining a woman. Although, in fairness, that was only 99% of a U-turn.
Of all the weeks to say that, when Brianna's mother is in this chamber, shame.
Several Labour MPs have branded Sunak's comments disgraceful on social media, while presenter Carol Vorderman predictably has even called on the Prime Minister to resign. But is this all just a game of political point scoring from Labour? Joining me in the studio is Sam Lister, political editor at the Daily Express. Sam, first of all, let's just recap. What is this 99% U-turn that Sunak's referencing about Starmer?
So, obviously, the trans issue has been quite a big debate within the Labour Party, and for a long time, Keir Starmer was repeatedly asked to define what a woman is.
Not difficult.
And he said something to the words, something along the lines of 99% of women do not have a penis.
Incorrect.
Which obviously...
Well, incorrect.
Yeah.
100% of women don't have penises, but
exactly.
Go ahead.
And that became a big kind of focal point. So obviously any kind of attack then became Keir Starmer doesn't know what a woman is, he can't say what a woman is. Mm-hmm. And obviously that's been quite an effective attack line from the Conservative Party, because most people watching will probably think, you know, that's quite a ludicrous position to take.
Yeah.
But obviously today in PMQs, Brianna Ghey's mother was in the gallery. Obviously Brianna Ghey was a trans teenager, and so this was a very incredibly sensitive subject to raise today. And actually, it didn't need to be raised. It was Rishi Sunak was going through a list of flip-flops by Keir Starmer. He didn't actually have to mention this one today. He could have quite happily left this to the side. Sadly, he didn't, and that allowed Keir Starmer then to turn the tables on him, look indignant, look like he's on the side of a grieving family, and paint Rishi Sunak as a kind of evil Tory who's heartless and doesn't care about this poor mother who's obviously in bits.
Yeah, but I've heard reports that actually Esther Ghey wasn't actually in the gallery at the time.
At that time,
she came in after the comments had been made. But what is the problem here? The fact that Sunak dared to talk about the trans issue when Esther Ghey was there, or the fact that he's mentioning it full stop? Because most people who are watching this are going to say he's not incorrect in what he's saying.
And I think that's what Number 10 think. They think, actually, because I've spoken to them since the event, Prime Minister's questions. So do you think the Prime Minister regrets what he said? And their view is actually, well, look, this is a list of U-turns by Keir Starmer. It is legitimate for the Prime Minister to highlight the number of times that Keir Starmer has rowed back on certain things. Mm-hmm. And obviously, what a woman is one of the big things he has changed his mind on, apparently, in the last year. And they feel it's clearly a legitimate thing for them to be able to paint the Leader of the Opposition as a flip-flopper, because they have this long list of things that he has changed his mind on. And these are big things. You know, what a woman is goes to the heart of the trans issue. And if he's changing his mind on that, then what else will he change his mind on? I think they think it's a fair kind of criticism. Obviously, for Keir Starmer, he's going to make political capital out of this today.
Yeah, I mean, Carol Vorderman, so predictable. Of course, she's going to come out and say he's transphobic, he should resign.
Yeah.
I don't think what Sunak said was transphobic. I think he's stating facts. And I don't think our MPs, especially on a Wednesday at PMQs, I don't think they should have to be worried about who's in the gallery or any other politicians who may have personal experiences that they may be offended by what they want to say and speak as the truth.
And this is the kind of crux of it, isn't it? The right to be offended or not to be offended. And actually, when you look around that chamber, there's 650 MPs. Pretty much everything, every issue is covered there by all of them. They've all got their own family issues, personal issues, health issues, whatever, that, you know, legitimately could be offended every week by some kind of given issue. So I think you're right, actually, the Prime Minister needs to be able to be free to speak about any issue, regardless of who is sat in that chamber at that time.
Yeah.
And this issue about what a woman is will be a fundamental issue at the next election. It has been a huge issue within the Labour Party. People throw around transphobia as an accusation, but the misogyny involved in this debate as well is very rarely talked about.
Yeah.
The attacks on women, some of the terrible abuse that people like Rosie Duffield, a Labour MP, have had to suffer during this debate for holding very, very, views that are typically held by most of the population, yet they are vilified for it.
Well, Starmer went on to say, I think the role of the Prime Minister is to make sure that every single citizen in this country feels safe and respected, and it's a shame the Prime Minister doesn't share that. I would say that many women in this country would say they wouldn't feel safe with Starmer as Prime Minister if he can't even recognise what a woman is.
Yeah, and lots of women have said that although they are of a left-wing disposition, if you will, that they will struggle to vote for him at the next election because they don't really trust him on this issue. In his heart of hearts, he has for a long time felt that, well, how do you put this? I think the 99% comment probably reflected where he has been on this debate for a long, long time. And so this sudden shift for political reasons, a cynic might say, is not something that every woman will trust from Keir Starmer. And I think, you do have to have these debates in Parliament. People have to be robust and be able to talk about any issue in Parliament. Obviously, when you have a grieving mother in the chamber, that does make it more difficult.
Absolutely.